Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following King Daemon of the Mountain, River, and Vale. And in that last episode, we had to deal with an unruly vassal, Lord Lucian the Shy of House Root. Now, he had formed an alliance with the powerful King Corman the Noble of House Bracken here in Southstone, and together, or with the backing of King Cormond, he refused the summons of the king to answer for the crime of refusing to allow the king into his hall. And so he rose up in rebellion. The powerful King Cormond backing him. The war was fierce, including particularly the battle, I believe it was the battle here, the Battle of Duloc, in which the combined forces of the Valemen here in Strongsong and within our own kingdom, as well as Tarth and some of our other smaller allies, met the forces of Southstone and the forces of House of Root together in battle just south of the Neck. And it was a truly epic battle indeed. Things were evenly matched for the first few days of the fighting, and it could have gone either way. However, we managed to hold long enough for our allies to come in and assist us and turn the tides of the battle in our favor. Special notice goes to, or thanks, I guess, goes to Lord Kermit here, who is currently imprisoned. But we're gonna do something about that. But the forces of House Tarek distracted the forces of Southstone long enough for us to reach and gather with our allies. And so Lord Kermit has proven himself a very, very able and capable indeed in assisting us in that war. But we need to deal with a few things, and that is the terms of the peace deal. Now, obviously, the game mechanics of Crusader Kings 3 don't allow for very nuanced peace deals, so I'm going to do something a bit different here. And so we find ourselves in peace talks with King Cormond. Indeed, with King Cormond, because he is the more powerful of the players involved on the opposing side, and Lord Lucian is currently in our prison. Lord Lucian, who is King Cormond's, I believe it is, brother-in-law. Now, we need to deal with this. Even though we won the war, we are the victors here, and we thoroughly trounced the army of House Bracken and House Root. We still need to make a deal here because our adopted son and our brother, along with some of our other allies, are currently held prisoner by King Cormond. And so we need to essentially deal with him in such a way that we can ensure the release of our prisoners, even though we are acting from a position of power here. And so the terms of the deal will be as follows. Lord Lucian, as a traitor to the realm, will be banished. Indeed, he shall be banished. We obviously cannot continue to have a traitor ruling in our realm. However, his son and his family will continue to rule in the castle of Speckledown for the time being, at least. We will not infringe upon their right to rule that castle, though their high lordship has been stripped from them. In addition to that, we are going to arrange for 2 marriages, one between our son and one of the daughters of King Cormond, and then between one of our daughters and the great-grandson of King Cormond. This is to ensure peace between our families for the time to come. In exchange for this gesture of goodwill, King Cormond will agree to release the prisoners that he is holding from the war, and he will ensure that no harm comes to them as they return to their lands. And so those are the terms of the peace deal. King Cormond, though he might not like it, has no choice but to accept, as we are the clear victors here. And so I think that this is a pretty good deal for him, in fact. And unfortunately, we were put into this position because we obviously would not allow our adopted son and brother to remain prisoner. So I'm going to go and take care of the details, and then we will come back and I will go into a little bit more depth there shortly. And so it is done. Let us take a look at the terms of the deal a little more closely. So Lucian has been released from prison and banished. We'll see where he ends up. Currently, he's in Strong Song, but I imagine that's just a stopping point. He's not allowed here in the Riverlands, so I suspect he may end up here in the Kingdom of Southstone at some point. But his son still continues to rule Speckleplum, and like I said, we will not infringe upon his rights to rule that land in any case. In addition to that, we have arranged for a betrothal between the King Corman's daughter, Lady Amena, and our son, Prince Jason. And that will essentially ensure the alliance between our two kingdoms, or peace between our two kingdoms. I wouldn't quite call it an alliance, but certainly it's a peace treaty. And in addition to that, we have also arranged for a betrothal between our daughter, Princess Cersei, and his great-grandson, Titos Bracken. And that's because I didn't think that King Corman would agree to a one-side, like he wouldn't just give up his daughter to marry one of our sons without a little bit more tit-for-tat thing going on. So he gives up a daughter, and we will give up a daughter as well. And that seems to be something that I think that a man like King Corman the Noble would accept. And so with that, we have arranged for the release of both our brother, Orson, and our adopted son, Sir Ormond, as well as the release of some of our knights and the Lord of, where is it? Here we go. The Lord Kermit of Waspwood as well. So we have arranged all of these, and I think, this might not be within the bounds of CK3's mechanics, but I think someone like King Daemon with 34 diplomacy would certainly be able to arrange a peace treaty like this, especially with somebody who, King Corman does respect us. We might have gone to war, but there is a respect between us. We're both just, although we think that he is, certainly a callous ruler, but he is just. And so I think that we would be able to arrange this. Not only, like I said, we were negotiating from a position of power. We did beat him in the war. And so I think that this is both fair and acceptable. So that is the terms of the deal. Now, because of the way that things have gone, we do have a high lordship to fill. And how are we going to fill that? Well, we have the castle of Adderstone and the high lordship of Fairmarket here, which is open to being filled. And I think that it would be fitting if we were to give those lands to our son, Sir Ormond. And, he might be adopted, but we found him here. We didn't even find him that far from these lands. I mean, I'm pretty sure we were like somewhere right around here when we had the event that happened that allowed us to essentially take Ormond in as our son. So he is, he might have been raised a Valeman, but he is from the Riverlands. And I think it's quite fitting that we would give him, and he fought in that battle. Remember, he fought in that epic battle. He might have been captured, but he fought fiercely up until that point. And so I think that we want to give our son a prestigious position. He might not ever inherit in the Vale, and he might never really be looked upon as a truly legitimate son, but his family will be looked upon as high lords, because that is what we are going to name him. So we're going to give you the lordship of Ramsford and the high lordship of Fairmarket. And here we go. We have Prince Ormond of the Mountain River and Vale, and he is a high lord. He is the lord of Fairmarket. And I think that is quite fitting indeed for our son. who has proven himself a capable warrior and who deserves a prestigious position as our adopted son that might not come from the traditional ways of inheriting. So I think that this is very fitting indeed. We'll see. Maybe he'll form a cadet branch. Maybe I'll even go in and make that myself. So if you have any suggestions for what Ormond's cadet branch of House Arryn would be called, leave them in the comments below. I'll take the best suggestion and I will set up a cadet branch here for Prince Ormond. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll see what it ends up being. So with that said, we aren't really done with war because we have been called in by our allies in Duskendale, and Duskendale did provide great aid during the war with Southstone. So we are going to obviously assist them. They are fighting a rebellion against the King of the Bay, King Thorin, who frankly is one of my favorite characters in this whole series, even though we don't see very much of him. House Seafroth, if you'll remember, was one of the council member characters who came in the previous Blackfyre series. Lord Paramount Rickard was a loyal vassal of House Blackfyre, and they were granted titles here and eventually became kings, and now King Thorin here is ruling. But well, we're gonna have to go up against him here because our allies require aid. Greetings, my benevolent liege. I have arrived in the Eyrie to pay homage to you, glorious king, as a show of my loyalty. Who is this? Ah, Lord Harwin of House Deddings. Show Lord Harwin in at once. Ah, and he comes bearing gifts. Well, that is excellent. Thank you, Lord Harwin. I'm proud to see my daughter no longer as a child, but as an adult, despite having had more than a fair share of experience lying as a child. Jaina always sounded difficult to apply that kind of creativity in any structured fashion. While she has shown herself fully capable of petty scheming, few would call it refined, but refinement is not always what you need. All right, so, you know, she is not a particularly good character. She is engaged to Lord Brian of Runestone, the brother of the Bronze King Chael. Somebody did want me to check in on Lord Paramount Mazart. He's doing okay. He got injured in that battle, but he is a mayor trainee, which is actually, you know, his stats are not terrible. I honestly think that once Lord Bastion retires from the position of Castellan, hopefully by that point, Lord Mazart will be, he's a little young. We might have to put Tegan as the Castellan, but we're going to try to get Lord Paramount Mazart a position on the council once one of these guys retire. We can't fire Barry Blandish. Barry Blandish is just an amazing steward. He might be a common man or, you know, from a lowly noble house, but he is indeed quite the steward. And we're feeling much better, which is good. Our troops quickly rushing here to the bay to assist our allies. Lord Luther has approached me, claiming he has discovered who is behind the murder of my acquaintance Nalia. He has offered to provide me, I must know the truth. Some story, well, we're just, so we must know the truth, surely. It seems Miles was the murderer of my acquaintance. So Miles is a murderer. He is not he's not in our court though, so we can't imprison him or anything like that. But if he does find his way to our court, we will certainly have to do something. Oh, there's some big forces here. Oh, we're gonna have to back up. The Bay has some allies and they called them in. We're gonna need to certainly assist our allies here, but let's gather up with them if we can. Let's see. Can we reach them? All right, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do our best to assist our allies. Who do we got in charge of the army? I believe it is Parman. Parman, who is quite capable in war, and so Sir Parman here will lead the army for now. He does deserve a reward. Somebody pointed out that he was leading, at least for part of the time, our army during the war with Southstone. So we might raise him to nobility just once this is all said and done. Once he returns home, we might raise him to nobility. Our daughter is ready to be wed, so we will arrange for that. Unfortunately, this war is going on, but there's not a lot we can do. The Battle of Cat Pools. Yeah, okay, so Parman was leading the forces there against the... Oh, look at this. Oh, Lord Godric, Lord Maesart, Lord Arryn, and John. John was fighting well. Look at all these characters. This was from the previous Southstone War. But yeah, look at that. John fighting very capably. Look at the mustache. Somebody said that the mustaches were just the fashion in the court right now among the young men. So I might go and, like, once Prince Jason gets to like the age that he can get a beard, might give him a mustache too. We're just gonna have mustaches among all the young men at court. It's just the phase they're going through. Maybe Lord Maesart will take a mustache too. We'll see. But in any case, yeah, this was another trouncing by our forces against Southstone here. So yeah, they got quite a few troops. I'm not super... Oof. I mean, we have to. We can't just leave our allies, right? They assisted us in our war, so there's no way that we could go with, you know, not assisting them, even knowing that things are not going to go well in our favor. So, oh, what? The forces of Duskendale, they got out of there in time? What? Wow. Duskendale. Lady Elrone here. Look at that. Oh, she's a commander. She left us to die. If Sir Parman returns home with word of this, we will not look kindly upon Duskendale, who left our troops to face the forces of the Bay and its allies alone. We're going to try to retreat here if we can, but my God, I can't believe that Duskendale would do that to us. Let us hope that we can... Bastion was in that? What? I mean, I never thought to even take him off of the roster. Apparently Bastion, Lord Bastion was along with the army. You know, maybe he went with the army to manage the logistics, to be the voice of the king. And when Duskendale left us, the camp was attacked. So he's not fighting in the battle, of course, but the camp was attacked. And Lord Bastion, the brave knight that he is, though he is not a young man any longer, went out to fight and defend the camp and was slain by, it appears, Master Aegon of Blackglass Port here. Oh, wow. A high Valyrian, interesting. Must be some of the bastards of the Blackfyres or the Targaryens or something of the sort. But wow, I mean, that's unfortunate. Well, I mean, we're gonna need to name a new Hand of the King, I suppose. But our forces defeated. Oh, and Theomar was slain as well. Theomar was slain by Lord Harald the Dragon Lord. How's Blackfyre? Wow. Blackfyre, dang, they're getting in on this battle. But we lost Lord Bastion and Lord Theomar. I mean, Lord Theomar isn't much of a loss, to be honest. He still followed the Lady of the Waves, which we are not, too keen on. But we will need to, I mean, consider the consequences of this battle. I think we're gonna pull our troops back. Duskendale, you left us to die, so we're going to pull back. I think that is, I think one could hardly deny that it is an unjust thing. So we are not going to, we're not going to be assisting Duskendale any longer. if they would have helped us in that battle, we might have been able to win. But in any case, let's look at the details. They had the King Thorin was leading his troops himself. Lord Godric managed to escape. Lord Arryn managed to escape. Lord Paramount Maesart did as well. Lord John. I mean, our son was in that battle. Duskendale left us, and our son was in that army. I mean, Prince John, good on you for fighting as much as you could. But yeah, luckily they were able to escape. So some of our most powerful nobles did manage to escape the battle. But yeah, we lost Theomar, we lost Lord Bastion. I mean, look how many knights they had, and they didn't lose. They lost a few. Lord Arryn slew one, Lord Godric slew one, but yeah, there was no way we were gonna win that, especially when Duskendale just left us to die. And now Duskendale's gonna get their karma here as their army gets crushed. Let's see. I mean, adultery. I mean, obviously we need to punish adultery. Lord John here, Darrow Skies, and Lady Lemuria of the Sisters. Oh, she... Interesting. So we've actually imprisoned Lady Lemuria. Oh, this is actually very useful. For... I mean, maybe we can actually use this to strip him of her title and put somebody who follows the faith of the Seven as the High Lord of the Sisters. Possibly. Well, we'll deal with that shortly, but yeah, I mean, we're going to retreat. I think we're going to bring our forces back to the Vale. I think Duskendale signed their own death warrant, so to speak, here by leaving our troops to die, especially with our son in the army. That is not something we can simply accept. We do need a new Hand of the King. I think that I am going to put, I mean, probably, let's see. Oh, wow, our son has returned as a Septon here. That's interesting, actually. We might look at that in a second. Let's see. Tegan could be fine at that, actually. He's mostly going to be a diplomacy one, but I'm fine with that, actually. So, ooh, wow. That's really good, actually. Preside over the council. Yeah, so Lord Tegan's going to preside over the council. We're going to put Lord Paramount Maesart in the position as our chancellor. So there you go, Maesart. You might be a young man, but you are going to get a position on the council. And there we go. Lord Tegan will do an excellent job as our Hand of the King, I am sure. So, wow, this has been already a lot of crazy things going on. What do we have here? And Prince John, as he returns home with our unfortunately defeated army, it has come time for him to have his to be wed, and he is going to be wed to the daughter of King Redmond of Tarth. Redmond of Tarth has been an excellent ally, somehow still alive, even though he's lived 10 years with cancer, and he's probably going to continue living much, much longer, I suspect. But yeah, we're going to keep that alliance strong, so obviously we're not going to break the betrothal or anything like that. To the charming King Damon of the Mountain River and Vale, I gladly accept your marriage proposal. Your son and heir John, and my daughter Laura, will be joined in holy matrimony. May the seven who are one grant them long life and many children. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So Lord or Prince John is to be wed, or he has already been wed, and that is excellent news indeed. We're gonna disband our army, I suppose, because yeah, we're not assisting Duskendale anymore. They made their own bed. They can lie in it. That yeah, that's just unacceptable. It has been a long day. I stretch my legs out in front of me, relax at my writing table. Oh, looks like my cat has gotten to our books. We're gonna try to catch it. There we go. Just a dumb little pet cat event anyways. King Halleck has won a war here, as you can see, against Lord Edwin of Darstone. Iron Islands are fighting in a few wars. They're attacking Golden Grove, but looks like they got attacked by the Trident and are winning that one, but are losing their attacking war. We'll see. If they manage to defeat the Trident, they'll probably be able to turn their forces once again against Golden Grove. Lady Edine wants to play me in a game of chess. I mean, sure. Let's see. We're gonna go with the our excellent skill and knowledge of chess, and so we're gonna play this way throughout here. So you think you can outthink me? You cannot. With a smug smile, I place my final piece upon the board. This game of chess is mine. Another fine victory on my indisputable rise towards the role of King of Games. A desolate Edine remains seated, hands on her huntress, trying to see where she went wrong. How does it feel to lose, little woman? No, I think I'd say I'd love to play again sometime. Just a minor little event there. Oh, we could ask our head of faith for gold. I mean, we probably should. We are using this gold to spread the faith of the seven here. Like I said, I am tempted to revoke the... Oh, we would get all of these titles? She is an adulterer. She is an adulterer. I am tempted to do this. Look, House Sunderland, and I know some of you guys are fans of House Sunderland because they follow the Lady of the Waves, and that is interesting. But King Daemon the Blessed, the zealous follower of the faith of the seven, and he is just. We gave opportunities. I mean, well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe we can negotiate release. Demand conversion. There, okay, better option. We're not going to strip her of her lands. We are going to demand conversion, and there we go. This is way better. Yeah, okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to demand conversion. No, we can't get the weak hook. All right, so she might be an adulterer, but if she can, if she makes amends, converts to the faith of the seven, then we will allow her to be released. And so this is a way better option, actually. Glad I remembered that we could do that. And so there we go. They have returned back to the faith of the seven. And so her whole family has as well. There you go. We can see. And so the Sunderlands follow the seven once more. So that was pretty interesting. I mean, Duskendale is about to go down here, I think, any moment now. Looks like they're not going to last too much longer. Oh, and the Liberty War has been invalidated because Lady Elrone died under mysterious circumstances. What even happened there? That is a very good question. A very good question indeed. One we're going to look at in the next episode. And in that next episode, we are almost certainly going to be offering vassalage to King Torgold. We're going to need to get our troops back up, but I think that we will be capable of doing so in that next episode. So until then, Wanderers, thank you for watching.